Hello, Facebook. Hello, Facebook. What is happening? And I am just so frustrated by the camera like zooming in on me. I don't know what's going on. There's a setting here in my preferences, but it just zooms in on me. It zoomed in on Jamie and I last night too. So want to talk about what's going on in restaurants right now. Some of you may not know. Maybe some of you do. Camera, Interesting. General. Wow. Okay. Still, again, I can't find the settings, but I start out where you can see more of my background, then all of a sudden, once I go live for the first second, it's like that, and then all of a sudden it zooms in on me. So, all right. So, it is, what is today? Today's the 9th, June 9th. June 9th. Before we know it, 4th of July is here. 4th of July will be here, and full flood in the summer. So, good morning to everybody tuning in. My notification just went out, so I see some people logging in now. Good morning. It is the 9th. It's 9 a.m. Early morning for me here in the office. I have been outside smoking brisket since 6 a.m. That goes a full 12 hours, so that gets smoked until 6 o'clock tonight, and then we do our sous vide for 48 more hours, our 60-hour brisket. Really amazing stuff. So that's why it's so tender. It cooks so long at such a low temperature. So that's happening. Let's see. So people have been talking to me about restaurants lately and about just what's going on at restaurants. A lot of people are frustrated going out to eat. And I have coached several restaurant owners. And folks, we are in a labor shortage, like a major labor shortage. We've been okay here at Aroma Time. We've been okay, but there are so many parties and catering jobs that we have coming up that are, I'm looking at our calendar and I'm overwhelmed by what we have coming up, and we keep saying no to a lot. And we usually do a job every year. We run a kitchen for 10 weeks, another kitchen for 10 weeks. I've been doing it since 18 years. This is my 18th year doing it. So I do it like clockwork, but it requires my time to be there. And I just found out last week that I don't have to do that this year. So that's like a major relief for us. It kind of like gives us some breathing room. But right now, I mean, we are getting calls every single day for catering. So I'm kind of worried because we do need one more person in the kitchen to make this all happen. We need one more full-time cook in the kitchen to make this happen, and maybe even another prep cook. Literally, I'm sitting here at the office with Jamie during the day, and she's sitting and giving quotes, like 3-4 quotes a day for catering. Now, the biggest problem is food is going up. Food everywhere across the board. I sat down with one of my Italian importers yesterday, food importers, and she went over everything, and she goes, I have some bad news for you, Marcus. I go, oh boy, what's the bad news? Like, are you quitting the company or what's going on? Or she goes, everything we sell is going up. She goes, there's a container shortage, shipping. She goes, every fuel. She goes, every single thing. I took on our Italian side yesterday on some of our stuff, almost a 5 to 12% hit on every single item we bring in. Every single item. 5 to 12%, and it's so what most restaurants do is most restaurants then go out and look for a cheaper product, a product that is inferior, a commodity product, a cheaper product to try to make up that gap. Of course, we don't do that, so it's frustrating when you have to look at your menu and you're like, well, what prices am I going to raise? Because this is across the board. We don't buy commodity wings, but commodity chicken wings went from $180 a pound to $450 a pound since Super Bowl. And it's crazy. Our wings are about the same price. They did go up about 50 cents a pound. When you buy organic to begin with, the price is higher. So that's the one nice thing about buying natural and organic products. The price is the price. It doesn't fluctuate with the commodity market. But it costs more to begin with. Costs a lot more to begin with. in certain cases, like our salmon, our organic tomatoes, whatever we buy. So the prices are higher. Our marshmallows, our graham crackers. If you looked at the price that we pay for graham crackers versus what other restaurants pay for graham crackers, any other chef would look at me and be like, "You're stupid. Like, why are you spending 5 times the amount for graham crackers?" I'm like, "Look at the ingredients in your graham crackers. That's stupid. All those ingredients in there, the marshmallows, everything across the board." So Jamie and I are very conscious. So we haven't been hit as hard as other restaurants with prices increases. Like my cooking oil. She said to me yesterday, she goes, "Good thing you don't use our cooking oil. Our cooking oil took a massive increase." One of our clients actually bought like a pallet of cooking oil because oil went up that much. He got it in a savings and bought a pallet of cooking oil just so literally some of this commodity oil went from $20 a pail to $35 a pail almost overnight. So, folks, what's going on in the restaurant industry right now is literally insane. So when you go out to eat, be patient. Be patient at a restaurant. We had a guy here the other night that was just so impatient and miserable and rude, and they left a $3 tip on top of it. And, my staff was like, we bent over backwards for him. Like, we did everything we could and this and that. And he just wasn't talkative. And he said he didn't like something, but then he ate it all. He said, no, he didn't say he didn't like it. He was, these are just okay. These wings are just okay. Can I get you anything else? And he ate everything. And, so I actually called and left him a message. Hopefully he calls me back. Just saying that, hey, we saw you in the other night. Jamie and I weren't here. Saw you in the other night. And my staff said, that there was, might have been an issue with your dining experience. I'd love to follow up with you on that. Please give me a call at your earliest convenience. I'd be happy to talk to you, and I haven't heard back from him yet. So, staffing, the people that are actually showing up to work right now, everywhere, especially in the restaurant industry, just unfortunately we can't compensate them enough because all of our most restaurants, all of the money is going to pay for all this higher food. And restaurant profits are actually going down and going down and going down as the food prices go up and labor goes down and down. So one of the biggest challenges right now is, like, we could book a lot more business if I knew I had more staff. Now, right now I'm fine, but starting next weekend, we have 2 parties one night, one party another night, another party during the week, and then it rolls. I mean, we're rocking and rolling with parties like crazy. And so I'm getting a little nervous right now about juggling all this, and it's a good thing that I don't have to do my 10-week gig this year. It's sort of a blessing in disguise. I don't have to do it. And of course, we have a family still. Our kids, our own personal lives. Jamie and I want to go see Justin play baseball as much as we can upstate. He's playing in Jamestown in the Collegiate League. We went and got away the day last week to go see him 2 days, and we're going to go tomorrow to Jamestown and then to Elmira and watch him play. So we're going away Thursday, Friday, back on Saturday. I'm very proud of our staff. Our staff's amazing. They do a really fantastic job when we're not here. You go to a lot of restaurants, and when the owner's not there, it's like a kindergarten class without the teacher. It's literally like a kindergarten class without the teacher. Nobody knows really what they're doing. Nobody knows who's in charge, or the person in charge really doesn't know what they're doing. And is there really somebody really in charge? So it's kind of tricky. Usually operations like that are run by a dictator. And then the dictator walks back in and starts yelling and screaming and demanding things. That they should have taught. This person should have taught to begin with. When they walk away, it's literally like a kindergarten classroom. And sometimes restaurants get busy and they get overwhelmed. Even when we're here, things get busy and overwhelmed. But if you're going out to eat right now, just be patient and thankful that those staff decided to go to work and not collect benefits and not work the system. I get all the time. I lost 2 people recently. They came in, they interviewed, and when they found out that the job wasn't a cash job, they're like, I can't work. I'm like, what do you mean you can't work? And it's one of 2 things when they say I want cash. It's typically they owe child support and they don't want to pay child support, so they don't want to be on the books. And the other one is they're collecting benefits of some sort, unemployment benefits, things like that. So they don't want to lose those benefit employments. But there are businesses out there, restaurants out there that are still willing to pay these people cash. I don't mind paying cash to somebody for here and there, this and that, an odd job or this or that, or a bonus. Here you go. Here's $100 extra bucks or whatever. But there's restaurants out there that still rely upon paying like their staff like their full salary in cash. It's shocking. And these people are like, no, I can work for cash. I can go other places, work for cash, and still get my benefits. And so we're fighting the industry, restaurant industry, and all industries are fighting this complexity as well. So if somebody's showing up, if that waiter or waitress is there showing up and waiting on your table, it's you know, they could be in collecting, and we see it firsthand. I don't know when the benefits are going to end or what's going to happen with that, but you know, just be thankful that you can go out to a restaurant, that you can sit outside, that there is food here still, even though the food is going food is skyrocketing in prices, and it's everything that goes with it as well too. So that's it. Something you probably need to know about restaurants that you might not know. Restaurants are it's a struggle, and I said since day one, because a lot of restaurants closed and they never reopened. I said we're not going to really feel the true effects of this until everybody's PPP money is gone. Till all the funding's on, till all the PPP money's on. There's a lot of restaurant owners just floating by right now on PPP money, and that's what's making them float by. Once all that assistance ends and it's gone, and then you have the high prices of food, and you have all this and the low labor, they're going to be back in a situation worse than before. It's not. I don't think it's really solving anything in the long run, unless a restaurant owner decides to invest in high quality staff that can grow their business. We took our first round of PPP, and we, invested into staff and into building other things, which is why our daughter is here working for us full time now. We have the comfort of having her work here full time and grow other businesses with us, like our Your Car, our driver business that we just launched here in the Hudson Valley, and we're taking bookings for that now. So that's great. So what we do is we send a driver to your car, and it's $42 an hour. There's no extra add-on fees per person. All right, so it's you pay for the driver. It's $42 an hour. The driver's licensed and insured, and clean record. Some of them have CDL license. Some of them are off-duty police officers, responsible people that then they're checked out from us, and they show up to your location and drive your car. So if you have a minivan and you can fit 8-9 people in it, it's the same price as if you have a small 4-door car and there's 2 of you in it, right? It's the same price. You're hiring the driver. You're not paying per person. So when we drive you, they will drive you to the wineries, breweries, distilleries, farms, dinner, whatever, and make sure that you are safe, that you don't get a DWI and you don't get into an accident. So that's how that works. So we took some of our PPP money and invested in Courtney and creating a job here for us to run that business. So that's one of the things that we did. So folks, if you're going out to eat, be thankful, be grateful. There is food still. There are people that will go to work right now. And I know it's tough because that's the hospitality industry. We're supposed to be pampering you. We're supposed to be bending over backwards and pampering you and all this kind of stuff. And like I said, we have a great staff. Our front of the house staff is awesome, amazing. We have enough people in the front of the house too. Back of the house, awesome, amazing staff. We just need one more person back there. One more to 2 more people back there. And I can probably look at Jamie's calendar and say, okay, we can tackle all this catering jobs we have coming up. And believe me, we've raised our prices. We've turned people away. And people are still like, no, can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do it? And it's just like, but then there's some people that are actually call you for a catering job, and you give them a quote, and they're like, and they like try to beat you up in pricing. And and in the past, we would negotiate a little bit, but right now I'm like, sorry, prices have gone up and everything. Staff is an issue, and wherever you go, this is going to be the situation. I'm sorry, we just can't be flexible. I don't know why people like go into restaurants, into catering, when they book catering jobs. And they always think that a restaurant's flexible in pricing. Of course, most restaurants have no idea what they paid for anything. They have no idea what they paid for the burger, for the lettuce, for the tomatoes, everything goes on. They have no clue whatsoever. Unlike other businesers that do. Like when you go to buy tiles, I guarantee if you go to Ace Hardware or you go to any hardware store, they know what they paid for an extension cord. The extension cord is $9. They paid $4, whatever it is, whatever the margins are. I don't know. In the restaurant industry, if we charge $9.99 for a burger, I don't know any restaurant owner that can actually say we paid $4.03 for that burger with the bun, with the pickle, with the 2 ounces of ketchup, with this, with that, with the slice of onion. I don't know any restaurant owner that can actually there are some out there, but I don't know many restaurant owners that can actually blurb that out. But the other ones can, because it's a tangible one thing. Let's see. Hopefully Jamie's getting that. She has the phones with her as well. This is a new phone for us here in the office. We just got this last month. We've never had a phone in the office. We rely on forwarding our phones to our cell phones and the app. So Joel's saying most owners spent their PPP money on frivolous toys. A lot of them did spend their money on frivolous toys. I posted on Facebook, my personal account, last week or 2 weeks ago. Some restaurant owners took their PPP money and invested in jobs, built more, took care of their staff, invested to create more revenue, basically invested to create more revenue in the future. And while other restaurant owners, well, they just bought new cars and did other things like that, which is totally true. That is totally true. I'm one of them that got a new car, but I didn't use my PPP money. I actually got a great deal on trading my van in. I bought this van, 5 years ago, 5 years ago, and it was all paid for, and I wasn't using the van to its capability anymore because I had the van wrapped. Roma Time Bistro, Hudson Valley's, most of the water restaurant, winery tours, brewery tours, and we weren't doing tours in the van. We would hire a service like Visconti or somebody, which we used they were the ones who we used most of the time. Or sometimes we would use round out tours for bigger buses, and we'd even use Rolling V. So we'd contract everything out with a livery service and all that kind of stuff. I advertised it on my van, and I had a competitor call the Department of Transportation on me, and the Department of Transportation was all over me and wanted to fine me $10,000. I'm like, listen, I'm advertising on my van. They're like, well, you advertise on your website too. We went through your website. I'm like, yeah, I advertise everywhere. That I do tours in Italy, that I do tours here, I do tours here. And these are the people that I contract out buses with and things. He goes, well, you need to specifically say that on your website, that everything is contracted out through a licensed livery service. I'm like, really? He goes, you have 5 days to comply, it's a $10,000 fine. He goes, I'm sorry, but you have a competitor that's not too happy with you. I'm like, you're kidding me. I was like, I'd love to know who this so-called competitor is. I used to park out in the street. People used to email the police chief saying, Marcus's van is parked out in the street, because I was logoed out. Marcus's van is parked in the street, and I'd say to the chief, I said, I know who did this. He goes, well, it came anonymously. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't want to foil, but I could foil and see who's actually sending this email. He's like, well, it came from an anonymous email. I'm like, well, all you have to do is click here, here, and here, and you can see the source of the email. He goes, how do you do that? I'm like, let me show you how you click those other options, and all those scam emails that come in, you can actually see the source of the email there. It's not that hard to figure out, so it's a simple thing to do. I actually got a nice Lincoln, but I bought this van for $28,000, had 1,800 miles on it when I bought it. And I ended up trading it in 5-6 years later I got $22,000 for it. The Lincoln wasn't much more. I paid a couple $1,000s in cash, and I'm driving this beautiful Lincoln that I absolutely love, and I wasn't using the van for its capabilities, and I didn't have a personal car. The van was my personal car. So if you saw me driving around a van, that was my personal car for a long time. The van came in really handy when we wanted to take Justin's friends to games and stuff, because we could pack a lot of people in there and do that. And we used it for shuttle service. We used it for free shuttle service back and forth from Honors Haven and the other hotels. And now, when COVID hit, that wasn't happening anymore. Marcus's van is parked on the street, but we're not concerned. People dealing drugs in front of the school. Yeah, exactly right, Anthony. Exactly right. Bingo. There was a fight in front of the restaurant the other night. Not related to the restaurant, but there was a fight in front of the restaurant, and it was just crazy. Right in the middle of service, people are out there screaming, yelling, beating everybody up, and they're blocking our front door. We went out there, and I tried to pull them off of the one person they were ganging up on, but it's just great. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, all right. That is it for now. I got some phone calls to do. I got to check out my brisket. I've got to get to the Airbnb, and we got some things happening there today, like the septic system pump, things like that. So everybody have an amazing day. I really appreciate your your support virtually and in person. And thank you everybody who took part in our salmon sale last week. We topped 500 pounds of salmon. So if anybody's still interested in that, call. If we have any that we pre-ordered, and Jamie knows. I don't know the exact inventory what's left. Jamie has a handle on the inventory. We have more halibut coming in today. Not quite $14.99 because we don't even pay that for halibut. Halibut costs us almost that. Costs us more than that, actually. So, so halibut comes back today. Wild Alaskan halibut fillets, 8-ounce portions. Joel's saying tough when the powers that be don't care. Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing what happens with some of our elected officials and powers to be. What they've done in the past and what they continue to do. Whoever's in here in charge, and there are some good people that are elected locally. There's some really good people that are elected locally, and there's some people that just have no business clue and don't understand. They understand politics more than they understand the community. And that's a shame when that happens. They understand that the politic realm of it, as opposed to walking down the street and walking in my business and saying, we need, we want to do this and this. What are some of your opinions, Marcus? And some of them do ask me, but not many of them at all actually do that. So, Joel's saying, "Be the change." Yeah, I'll change things, just not on an elected level, Joel. I'll try to change things. All right, folks. Everybody have an amazing day. It's Wednesday. We're closed. So Jamie and I are going to have a great afternoon and maybe go bike riding or something. We'll see what happens with the weather. And that's it, folks. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. And hope to see you soon.